are imparting technology, making them good memorizers of some theorems, some concepts, then we are not doing education. Secondly, if parents in their home have not developed respect for each other, if they think they are just two persons living for economic reasons, for some physical comfort, for perhaps better, tasty, spicy food at less cost, then I think we are living in an artificial world. If parents respect each other and have devotion and sacrifice, only then you can expect from your kids to imbibe those values. Therefore, without parents' active participation in schools' ideology and without schools going back to parents for their helping hand, you cannot have success in your educational project. I also believe that there is need to bring a foundational change in teaching methodologies. Instead of going for the traditional ways of classroom environment, there should be an ongoing educational process which leads to learning habits and not just acquiring information. Having information is the basis. But when they develop a learning attitude where they learn from every experience, every encounter, then they become true students and true leaders. Leaders are essentially learners who learn from others. And that's how the Quran tells us that whoever is given hikmah, he is given a great favor. This hikmah or wisdom, unfortunately, is missing in our whole educational structure. We are more concerned about measurable achievements in terms of quantity of knowledge. Therefore, assessment methodologies, when we assess an examination, a project, it is based essentially on how much information is provided. But here is the main target and objective of acquiring hikmah. How far a person has been able to understand what is the purpose of education. If purpose of education is mannerism, good behavior, then are we having it? Or is it simply a matter of controlled environment in which when you have a student or a person, then the person behaves as you expect. But when you change environment, is it same or different? That's a test. Any institution is successful. If your graduates, when they graduate and go out, they carry with them same principle and same behavior which they were subjected to in a given condition. Lastly, I believe when we are talking about education, we are addressing ourselves to the future of country. If those who live in North American context want to see their children as persons who build society, who excel in their own areas of interest, who are able to contribute something good, then this is the time when they invest in values, not just information, but values. And those values are common. Those values are universal. Those values are not a monopoly of Muslims alone. If the Quran says that you should have only one authority in your life, that means dual standards cannot bring success. That means Tawheed in my personal behavior, in my professionalism, in my family environment as well as in my industry. If we are disseminating that, then we are building a future for this country. The value of being fair and just is a core value in the Quran. The Quran says you must observe adl. Are we inculcating adl in our children? Are we telling them how much is adl in eating? How much is adl in sports? How much is adl in their prayer? How much is adl in their transactions with their own friends? If they are out of balance in all those areas, if they take a dish and fill it with all kind of food and leave it behind half utilized,
Take it back.
then we have not taught them adl. If they are spending lot of their time in messaging and texting and exchanging jokes on their mobiles, are they doing adl? Is that fairness or justice to time? It's not a matter of just some theoretical concepts, but Islamic values are down to earth, relevant for society. They make society meaningful and productive. Therefore, if values like Tawheed and Adl are not fully reflected in the behavior of the students, in the behavior of teachers, then we are having a superfluous education and not a transformative education. What's needed is education to transform the personality, thought processes, and behavior. In that, the role model is only one, and that is of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The more we know about him, how he spent his day, how he spent his evening, how he spent his night, how was he available for everyone who was in need, and yet he never complained, I am busy, I have no time for people. He was always available. Unless we have that role model fully reflected through our own conduct, and at the same time, that role model proliferated in the vision, personality of the students, we will be leaving them in his action. You always look and visualize a role model for them. That may be one of the parents or both parents, that may be a baseball champion, that may be a superstar TV performer. But they need a hero, they need a leader. It's our job to ensure that they get proper role model of the Prophet, peace be upon him, all the time in front of us, them, so they are able to imitate his kindness, his love, his compassion, his concern, and his ever desire to create a peaceful society. I will not take much time. I greatly appreciate this honor you have given to me. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the success of this institution to grow into a much higher stage of learning, leading to people who have not only learned but who have also acquired wisdom and hikmah in how to live life. Education prepares for living life. One can live life casually, one can live life meaningfully and seriously, and one can live life with a productive approach. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that each graduate may be a productive factor and member of society, and in this way build a society which is based on Islamic principles of tolerance, love, justice, fairness, sacrifice, and we become a model community for the rest of the people in America, because it's our obligation to share with them and communicate with them through image of Islam by our behavior and not simply by our word of mouth. May Allah bless you all, and thank you very much.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Ahmad. Barakallah fiik for those beautiful words. I don't know when the last time was that I heard such an inspirational talk about education, and I personally want to thank you for reminding me what education really means. And we tend to get so busy working that we don't stop and reflect about the work itself. In education, just a reminder of one of the gems that he gave us today is transformational. When we really are learning, the education to transform our minds, and our hearts, and our habits, and our manners, in our lives. And if that's not happening, then education and real learning is not happening. So we need to keep that. It's just one of the few things that I could stand here and give you a summary. I hope someone recorded that so we can rewind it and replay it. Many, many beautiful points to learn from. Jazakallah khair. Next we have Brother Shehryar, who will introduce our next speaker.
Assalamu alaikum. Once again, Doctor, thank you very much. We really appreciate you coming to the school and giving this wonderful speech. It's a great opportunity for us to learn something that I think is very much consistent with us as an Islamic school and our purpose. So again, thank you very much for coming. I want to introduce Dr. Sajjan. He's been a member or involved with the Florida House of Representatives. He's on the Charter Review Committee for the City of Coconut Creek. He's on the Advisory Board for Parks and Rec for Broward County. And for us, what is more relevant and important is that he actually sits on the Broward County Public Schools Task Force. So